Hello everyone, welcome to Business School 101. Picture this, you're enjoying your morning coffee, made with beans from Colombia, sweetened with sugar from Brazil, and perhaps paired with a croissant baked with flour from Canada. Have you ever stopped to think about how many people around the world contributed to your breakfast? It's amazing how interconnected our lives have become, thanks to trade. In this video, we're going to explore the fascinating world of interdependence and the gains from trade. Section 1. The concept of interdependence. Let's start with the idea of interdependence. No person or country lives in complete isolation. We all rely on others to provide the goods and services we need or want. This reliance on others is known as interdependence. It might sound a bit abstract, but let's bring it down to earth with a simple example. Imagine you're stranded on a deserted island. You have to catch your own fish, gather your own fruit, and build your own shelter. You can do it all, but it's exhausting and inefficient. Now, suppose another person washes up on the shore. He's great at fishing, but not so good at gathering fruit. If you both focus on what you do best and then trade, fish for fruit, you'll both end up better off. This is the essence of interdependence and trade. In the real world, this concept scales up to entire countries. No country is self-sufficient. Even the most powerful nations depend on trade to obtain resources and products they either can't produce themselves or can't produce efficiently. This interdependence creates a global network of trade, linking people and nations in a web of economic relationships. Section 2. Absolute versus comparative advantage. To understand trade fully, we need to understand two concepts, absolute advantage and comparative advantage. Absolute advantage occurs when one producer can make more of a good with the same amount of resources than another. For example, if Canada can produce more wheat per acre than the United States, Canada has an absolute advantage in wheat production. Comparative advantage, on the other hand, focuses on opportunity cost. A country has a comparative advantage in producing a good if it can produce it at a lower opportunity cost than another country. For example, let's say the United States is really good at producing both wheat and airplanes. Canada, on the other hand, is only slightly better at producing wheat than airplanes. Even though the United States could produce more wheat than Canada, it might still be better for the US to focus on airplanes and trade for Canadian wheat. Canada has a comparative advantage in wheat production because its opportunity cost is lower. This idea of comparative advantage is crucial because it explains why trade is beneficial even when one country is less efficient at producing everything. By specializing in what they do best and trading, countries can enjoy a greater variety of goods and services at lower prices. Section 3. Real-world examples of trade. Let's look at a few real-world examples to see how this works in practice. Example 1, the coffee trade. Colombia has a climate perfect for growing coffee, giving it a comparative advantage in coffee production. The United States, on the other hand, has the technology and capital to produce advanced electronics efficiently. When the US imports coffee from Colombia and exports electronics in return, both countries benefit. Colombians enjoy the latest technology, and Americans get their daily caffeine fix without having to grow coffee themselves. Example 2, the global car industry. Germany is known for its high-quality engineering and has a comparative advantage in producing luxury cars. Japan, meanwhile, has developed expertise in producing reliable, fuel-efficient vehicles. When Germany and Japan trade cars with each other, both nations benefit from a wider range of choices and can specialize in what they do best. Example 3, the textile industry. Many developing countries, like Bangladesh, have a comparative advantage in textile production due to lower labor costs. By exporting textiles to countries like the United States, which have higher labor costs, Bangladesh can grow its economy, and consumers in wealthier nations can buy clothing at lower prices. These examples show that trade is not a zero-sum game. It's not about one country winning and another losing. Instead, trade expands the economic pie, allowing all participants to enjoy a larger slice. Section 4. The global economy and interconnectedness. Today, we live in an increasingly interconnected world, where goods, services, people, and ideas flow across borders more freely than ever before. This interconnectedness is largely driven by trade. For example, consider the iPhone in your pocket. It's a prime example of deep global cooperation. The cobalt in its battery might come from the Democratic Republic of Congo, lithium from Chile, and rare earth elements from China. These materials are shipped to South Korea and Japan, where high-tech components like processors and memory chips are made. The design and software are created in the United States, but the assembly happens in China or Vietnam. The finished iPhone is then sold worldwide, from Europe to Africa. Even the apps you use might be developed in India, with customer support in the Philippines, and cloud storage in Ireland. This intricate web of global collaboration highlights how no single country could produce the iPhone alone. It's a testament to how deeply interconnected and cooperative our world economy has become. Section 5. Conclusion. In conclusion, understanding interdependence and the gains from trade helps us see why no country, or person, can or should try to do everything on their own. By specializing in what we do best and trading for the rest, we can all enjoy a higher standard of living. The next time you enjoy a cup of coffee or use your smartphone, take a moment to appreciate the global network of trade that made it possible. Remember, trade isn't just about exchanging goods, it's about creating value and improving lives across the world. Alright, that's all for today's topic. If you have any questions regarding this video, please leave your thoughts in a comment below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.